it. I'm telling you, this is one of the dopest hair designers, like design makers in hair, period. Um, I didn't know who the Ultimate Barber was before I knew your designs. I knew your designs. I didn't know who Nick was and nothing. And you just kept popping up on my feed. This is years ago. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh my goodness. We show your designs around the world like trading cards. Did you see this one? Did you see this one?
I've
And
tried a couple
Yes.
of them. I tried
yeah.
them.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
listen. Yes. I'm glad T said that. I actually had a time where I was doing a design and I was like, damn, it's sometimes I have my own creative ideas and
Yes.
sometimes I need
Hmm.
inspiration. I
Hmm.
looked at yours and you had, I could tell you what it was. You had this spear going through
And
rings.
then coming back through. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And look, that boy said, I know my designs. And man, I just want to tell people this is not somebody just throwing some parts in people's hair. This is a higher level of this, dude. So anyhow, wanted to let you know we know what you're doing. But now
Thank you so much. Don't mean to cut, but I really appreciate that because I always tell people that when it comes to my artwork, it stands out because it's very unique. And I don't just put a lot of toss a lot of lines or just anything like that. I put a lot of thought into my work. And that's why I feel like there's a lot of people doing really good designs as well. Don't get me wrong. But I just have this unique touch. And, I was able to really stand out and reach the international market
when did you
with my work.
realize? When did you go from? And you, man, and you're welcome. First and foremost, again, this goes to the introduction. You had a sense of humility that I really admired about you.
Yeah.
So we love your work, but when we met you in person in Connecticut, I was like, not only do I like his work, I like him. He's a cool guy, and and it was
Yeah.
fun all weekend with you. Whenever we ran into you, it
Yeah.
was just cool.
Yes, for sure.
Um,
For sure.
when did you realize, all right, I'm not just cutting hair, I'm creating art. Like this is a higher level. When did you realize that? From give us a idea of the timeline. Okay, I was a clipper mechanic. First, you was reviving dead clippers and bringing them back to
Yeah.
life,
Yes, for
and
sure.
then you must have started cutting. Okay, how long after the cutting did you start going to the art form of this?
Well, I would say that, after getting into cutting hair, it was just one of those things where I decided to just dabble in it. And I would always remember this, even though I'm doing this for quite some time, I would always remember my first actual design where it was a part and I decided to take the end of the part and like create an arrow.
Mm.
And from the arrow, I decided to stop using the hair to create the design and more or less use the skin. So there's two types of designs where you can create a design with hair and you could create a design with the lines. It's up to you what you do, right? So I always tell people, let me break it down very easy for you here.
Please
And
do.
when I break
Let me
when
get
I
my
break it down
pad.
for you, you're gonna be like, damn, how that makes so much sense. So check this out, right? You easily could take like a clipper and create a heart, right? But from the time you remove, so that heart now is created by the
Line.
the trimmer,
Outline.
right?
Yeah.
Trim,
The
okay.
outliner, yes, the outliner. But from the time you remove the hair from the outside of that, the heart now becomes the hair. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
following you.
Right.
Yes.
So one
Yes.
is the line, and on the other hand, it's hair.
Yes.
Because once you remove the hair from around it now, and you realize that you just leave it there, it's just hair. So the hair is actually the heart, rather
Yes.
than the line
The
was the heart.
line.
So there's a difference between line designs and hair designs,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Right. There's also like concept open and close. And when I say open and close, we're not talking about open and closing a clipper. We're talking about opening a line or closing the line. That gives it a little more pop, a little more definition. And there's something that I just call point and corner, which is like if you're doing a up and a down.
Yeah.
I always believe in once you go up and you remain up on top, you're at a peak and you're coming down, you could square the base. It gives a definition. I'm sorry, I don't have a pad here.
I know exactly. I see it.
You
I
understand
know
what I'm
exactly
saying,
what
right?
you're talking about. When you're coming down, instead of
and then once you
giving a
come out
point, you
from that
square.
square
Yeah.
and your bonk's coming over, you open. You
Yeah.
open the line. It gives a definition. There's a way to just make it work. Whereas though not trying to stray too much from the true question here, but
No, this is dope.
My art really start from here. A lot of people used to think that like, yo, Ultimate, is it that you could draw? And I cannot draw none of what I do on a piece of paper.
Look,
I
you had a
can't.
question asking, did he grow up drawing?
Crazy, right? A lot of you would have think that. No, I didn't. I think a lot of my artwork, and the reason why it's unique, and this is going to be a shocker for a lot of people here. I am not a natural. This is practice. This is
I like
practice
this
and
even
hard work.
more.
Yeah, and I practice, and I really started to learn not just the maths of barbering or understanding when to open, when to close, when to fade, where to create contrast and make things look the way that they look. I actually started to understand the sweet science of what I'm doing as well.
Wow.
I really put a lot of thought into each design I do, to be honest. You know, there's some people who could really do it fast, but for me, when I was much younger and I now really started in the game, I would have been doing these designs like clockwork. But now, as I'm older, I think like because the competition is heavy and I really want to be consistent, which is one of my favorite. It's like my mantra. I just really want to be consistent. So
Gotcha.
I take my time and I put a lot of thought into what I'm doing to try to, you know, really put quality content out there.
Can I ask you this? Since you said it that way, are you, when you said practice, is the designs that we're seeing their original the first, or is it something that you practice and now you're displaying what your whole end result is after getting it perfect?
Okay, well, what happened is each design obviously is a spin off of the other. So in other words, some of my designs I would have done it already, lower down if I go deep down. But let's just say I did one and I left the end of it blank or sharp. This time around, when I come back and I do it, I probably might add a star on it or, you know, curve it a little more, change some stuff. So what happened is that right then and there, if I'm constantly doing a zigzag, let's just use the simplest example, right? If I'm constantly doing a zigzag when I start at the end, from doing it a few times, I will perfect it, you know, and I will get it the way I want it to look. Another thing about designs is that you can't put designs on everybody's head.
No.
It's difficult. It's very, very difficult. But it's one of them things where, as I said, is practice. And I don't like do something first and then bring it there. Even though it's practice, I will tell you guys now, it's definitely freestyle.
Is there ever a time? Is there ever a time, because this has happened to me, where I have it in my head as I'm doing it, the hair starts talking to me and it takes me somewhere completely different. I end up with something I didn't even imagine in the original concept. Does that happen to you?
As a barber yourself, I could relate, and I also have that as well too, where sometimes we do a design because we already have it in our head. I do something a piece that is already in my head, and then sometimes I just let it go because I could put someone to sit down and take my outliner and probably just do about 6 random lines, and mind you, I could connect that and bring it to life.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that's so dope. And even though you don't draw, you didn't have a talent as drawing. Do you draw do you pre-draw these just to create the idea at all, or it's just all in the head?
No, it's free. It's freehand. That's a really good
That's
question.
what you meant.
Yeah, it's freehand. So I don't stencil out or like take a white pencil first or create it and then do it. I would have attempted to do it some years ago, and just to see what it is about, because I see some people would do that first. Because I had the opportunity to actually meet Rob the Original some years ago. He came to Trinidad, right? So I had the opportunity to meet him, and we did a workshop, and I saw he did that. And when I went back to the shop, I said, "Let me try it," and that didn't work out for me because I can't draw. I can't draw. My pencil is the outliner. You understand?
Yeah.
I'm much more comfortable in that department. Yeah.